The Philippines is composed of 7,000 islands. Only 2 out of 10 Filipino households have access to a simple savings account. So there is definitely a gap that needs to be filled. Market-based solutions are really the key in finding models and ways to serve the needs of the unbanked. However, regulation always has to play catch-up because innovations happen at a very rapid pace. And that is the first risk because we have to fully understand what the innovation and what these new models are like and what risks they have, what the operations will be like. And so we need to fully understand the business models before we can actually create the policies and regulations that will make them flourish. If you look at what we are calling alternative financial service access points, which are actually pawn shops, cash in, cash out agents, money changers, very retail institutions, that's about 26,000 more financial access points. So definitely a large incremental improvement to touch points to financial services. And we think we will see more of this as more people are adept and are more comfortable with using these innovative channels. In the Philippines, where we don't have a national ID, it's often a problem for people to get access to a bank account. Usually they don't have the formal IDs that are traditionally required by banks. So now we allow even the barangay certificate, which is a certification of the local chieftain of the identity of the person. You just walk around the Philippines, everyone has a mobile phone, everyone is texting. And so it just naturally follows that if you are able to use that as an entry point into accessing simple transactions or financial services, the impact would be transformational, if I could say that. Our population of over 90 million people, the penetration rate of mobile phones is at about 80%, I think, if I'm not mistaken. And that's with the environment that has allowed electronic money and mobile banking. You're literally putting an access point to financial services in everyone's pocket. We now see the large banks looking at this space and targeting the previously unserved and underserved market. And that's definitely a big change, which is a good change because they have the economies of scale and they have the networks to deliver financial services to this market. Competition is also showing itself in the pricing. If you see, for example, in local remittances, electronic money, cash in, cash out points are actually providing very stiff competition to traditional remittance channels such as banks or pawn shops or remittance companies. Remittances are a very significant part of the Philippines. A lot of people travel from the rural areas to the city to find work. And this is the way they are able to sustain the livelihood of the family that they leave behind. And so we think that these electronic money platforms that allows for a lower cost of sending and receiving money is actually a very significant improvement and help to these people who are working away from home to be able to provide for their families. Previously, insurance products could only be sold by our universal and commercial banks, so the large banks that have affiliated insurance companies. But our microfinance regulations have allowed rural banks, these community-based banks, to distribute microinsurance products of authorized insurance companies. The Insurance Commission has recognized microinsurance, and this has led to the formalization of a lot of informal schemes that were in existence before. It's a big step towards consumer protection. They are now assured that their products are issued by authorized insurance companies, which have all the comply with all the necessary requirements. And I think that's an important first step. The core principles, which aim to create a more sound and stable banking system, is actually very complementary to creating an inclusive banking system. And for financial integrity, we see the same evidence on the ground that our financial inclusion efforts that are now bringing more people that were previously not in the formal financial system are actually something that can contribute to ensuring financial integrity in the system.